Today we're going to take a look at the DY9 Comp and go over what makes this version different from the standard DY9. The Comp model includes a 4.64-inch threaded honeycomb stainless steel barrel and a factory-installed compensator designed to reduce muzzle rise by roughly 25%. It also comes with optic plates, interchangeable backstraps, and a suppressor-ready setup. If you place the standard DY9 next to the DY9 Comp, the difference is easy to see. The extended threaded barrel and compensator are the main changes on this model. The compensator version also gives you a slightly longer overall barrel length compared to the standard DY9. A compensator redirects gas upward through its ports. That upward pressure helps counteract muzzle rise, allowing the pistol to track flatter during recoil and making follow-up shots easier to control. The compensator comes factory installed, but it can also be removed for cleaning or replacement if needed. Another key feature is the threaded honeycomb stainless steel barrel. The barrel uses 1/2 by 28 threads, which is the standard thread pitch used for most 9mm suppressors and muzzle devices. Now I'm going to show you how to install a compatible suppressor to your DY9 Comp. But before we do that, we have to make sure that there's no magazine inside your DY9. Next, make sure there's no ammo inside the chamber. And the last thing we're going to do is check the threads on the barrel. We're going to make sure that they're nice and clean so the suppressor mounts properly and seats fully. Now we're ready to install the suppressor. We'll take the side of the suppressor that has the threads on it, and we're going to slide them on the barrel threads just like that. You're going to make sure that the suppressor is nice and straight, and then you're going to turn the suppressor counterclockwise, just like this. At any point, as you're turning the suppressor, if it feels gritty or just doesn't feel nice and smooth, you're going to want to uninstall just like that and reinstall. It should feel nice and smooth with no resistance. So right here, I'm getting resistance. I'll uninstall and then reinstall, just like that. Now it feels nice and smooth, and we will turn this all the way until it stops. Now that it stops, I'm going to give it a nice hand tighten turn like that, and that's it. We have successfully installed our suppressor to the DY9. Keep in mind, running a suppressor will increase carbon buildup, so you'll need to clean your DY9 more frequently. The honeycomb pattern on the barrel helps reduce weight and keeps the barrel cooler during extended shooting. The optic plate system and interchangeable backstraps are the same setup used on the standard DY9. Now I'm going to show you how to disassemble and clean your compensator and barrel for your DY9 Comp. Here are the supplies you'll need to do this. You'll need a cleaning rod with a 9mm jag. You also need a 9mm bronze brush, a cleaning stick made out of plastic or wood. This one has a flat side and a pointy side. Nylon brush, preferably the one that has a smaller brush on this side. Q-tips, the ones I use, have the round side and pointy side. Barrel patches, mechanics paper towels because they don't break down as easily and they don't leave a lot of lint behind. I also cut them up in pieces like this so they're easier to use. You'll need a good CLP and blue thread locker. You'll also need a hex bit that's 3/32 or an Allen key that is 3/32. The first thing we have to do is make sure we're safe. And how we do that is by pushing the magazine release button right here. That'll drop your magazine. Set that aside. We're still not safe. We have to check inside the chamber to make sure there's no ammo in there. And how we do that is by gripping your DY9 like this, turning it over, pushing forward with this hand, while with this hand, grabbing the slide from here or here and pulling it this way. And as you can see, there's no ammo inside the chamber. We are now safe. Next, you're going to have to point your DY9 in a safe direction and pull the trigger. Now, you're going to take this part of the DY9 right here, and you're going to put it into this area of your hand, just like this. Now take your fingers and wrap it over the top of the slide and pull the slide to the rear, just like that. Now place your thumb onto this tab and your pointer finger on this tab right here. Once you're on those tabs, pull downward. Now release the pressure of your fingers and push the slide off. We could set this part aside. Next, we're going to remove the recoil spring. And how we do that is by grabbing the recoil spring from here, and we're going to pull up and out on an angle. So it'll look something like this. Up and out on an angle. Now we have to remove the set screws for the compensator here and here. You'll take your 3 30-seconds hex and you'll unscrew each one of these set screws. Turn it over and the set screws drop right out. We'll set these aside. Now, setting the rear of the slide onto the table, just like that, we're going to take the comp and we're going to turn it counterclockwise, just like that. We'll keep turning it until it comes right off of the barrel, just like that. Set the compensator aside. Now we're going to remove the barrel. How we do that is by grabbing the barrel from here, and we're going to pull up slightly, push forward slightly, then finish pulling up and out on an angle. So it'll look something like this. Up, slightly forward, up and out on an angle. And there you go. You have successfully disassembled your DY9 Comp. The first thing we're going to do is clean the lightning cuts on the slide. We'll take our Q-tips and we're going to use the pointy end and we're going to clean up the lightning cuts just like this. So you're just going to wipe down each one of these cuts. Once you've cleaned the inside of this area right here, then you're going to take the Q-tip and go all the way in like this, and you're going to rub all 4 sides like that, and you'll go through each one of them. If it's really dirty, you could put some CLP and go through each one, let it sit for a little bit, and then wipe off the CLP. But for the most part, that's the process you'll follow. Next, we're going to clean the barrel. How we do that is by taking one of the barrel patches, take our CLP, put some CLP on the patch, take the cleaning rod with the 9mm jag, and we're going to put the barrel patch through the jag just like this. Now we're going to take our barrel and we're going to insert that barrel patch in, and we're going to scrub the full length of the barrel. We're going to try to get the entire inside of the barrel. And that's it. As you can see, it did remove some of the fouling from inside the barrel, but the reason why we did that first is so this way the CLP has time to break down any of the fouling inside of the barrel while we're cleaning the compensator and the threads. Next, we're going to take another barrel patch and we're going to put CLP on it. And what we're going to do is we're going to take that patch and we're going to rub the entire outside of the barrel. Again, this is going to help break down any fouling that is on the barrel. We're going to make sure we get this part right here. That's your feeding ramp. And then the entire area right here. This is where you could take your cleaning stick, wrap the barrel patch on the cleaning stick, and I have it on the flat side, and I can get it into these corners right here and right here, just like that. Next, we'll take that patch and we'll flip it over to the other side, and then we'll put this into this area right here, just like that. And then we'll just move it along the side area right here. You don't have to make it spotless. It's just trying to get the bulk, and you're also trying to get a nice coating of CLP all over the barrel. We're going to take another barrel patch, and then we're going to take the CLP, put it on the patch just like we did before. And now we're going to put this onto the threads, and we're going to turn the barrel as we hold that barrel patch on the threads. So now what that's going to do is it's going to get a nice coating on the threads. And now we could set the barrel aside. Now we're going to clean the compensator. Before we do that, I want to give you my recommendation on how often you should clean your compensator. My recommendation is to clean it after every time you shoot it. The reason why is because the more buildup you get inside these ports, the less effective it is on reducing recoil. So that's why it's so important to make sure that there's no buildup inside your ports. But the reason why I clean it while it's really minimal buildup is because it's easier to do while it's really light buildup versus very heavy buildup. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to put a lot of CLP on that Q-tip. And the reason why is because we're going to want to put a very heavy coating of CLP on all the areas within the compensator. So I'm getting the floor of the compensator, which is all the way down at the bottom, this side of the wall of the compensator, inside this port, the other side of this port, and then the side walls as well. You're also going to take the Q-tip and just go around like this. Next, I like to clean the threads of your compensator. And I like to do that with the nylon brush. So looking at your compensator, this is the front, this is the rear, this is the top, and this is the bottom. So in the rear of your compensator, there are some threads in there, and that's what goes onto the barrel. So you're going to take your nylon brush, the small side, and you're just going to go around and you're going to clean those threads. Now, the reason why you're doing this is just to make sure that you take off any of the fouling. And also, if you used any blue thread locker, that'll help remove any of the thread locker residue. Now we're going to set this aside and let the CLP do its work and let it sit for about an hour. Another little tip that I do is I take the recoil spring and I take the thicker part of the recoil spring and I take the bottom part of the compensator and I rest it on the recoil spring like this. So this way, when you set it aside, it's still standing upright and the CLP will not leak out. Now that the CLP had an hour to do its job, now I'm going to show you how to finish cleaning your barrel and compensator. So the first thing we're going to do is take our barrel, take our cleaning rod and remove the jag. You're going to put your bronze brush onto the cleaning rod. And what we're going to do is we're going to insert the bronze brush into the barrel just like this. We're just going to make a few passes just like that through the entire barrel. Once you're done, take the bronze brush off, set that aside. Take the jag and put it back onto the cleaning rod. Now we're going to take a clean barrel patch with no CLP on it. And we're going to insert it into the jag like this. And we're going to pass this through the barrel. And we're going to try to put pressure on the entire inside of the barrel. So I'm going to push down, I'm going to push up, push to the side, push to the other side. And we're just going to go around the entire barrel and also the full length of the barrel as well. Once you've done that, you can see there's a lot of fouling that has come off. Set that aside. We're going to get a new barrel patch. We're going to do the same process. And you're going to repeat this process until the barrel patch comes out fairly clean. So this to me is clean enough. It doesn't have to be spotless. Another thing you can do is you can look through the barrel and you can see that it looks pretty clean inside there. And I'm happy with those results. So now I'm finished cleaning the inside of the barrel. Now I'll take one of our paper towels. I'm just going to rub the outside. So I'm taking off any of the CLP that was on the outside, making sure I'm rubbing all the areas I applied CLP, and then even the threads. There you go. You can see a decent amount of fouling came off of that. There you go. We're done. So we're done removing the fouling that the CLP removed. So now what we're going to do is we're using the CLP also to lubricate the barrel. So how I do that is I put just a few little dots on there and I rub it all along the barrel, just like this, just so you can see it has a nice light coating. And again, I'm not putting any of the CLP on the threads because we just wiped those off, and we do want those threads to be dry when we apply our thread locker. There you go. Now we are done applying the CLP to the barrel. We could set that aside. Now we're going to clean the compensator. So what we're going to do is take a dry Q-tip. we're going to take the round side and we're going to go into the port and remove all the CLP that we added to the port. Same thing, we're going to get all of the walls, just like this, even the sides, right here. If we want to scrub a little harder, what we can do is we could take a barrel patch that has no CLP on it and the flat side or even the pointy side of our cleaning stick, wrap the barrel patch around it, and we can go inside and we can scrub a little harder. And so I'm taking the same barrel patch and I'm going through the side ports as well. And do the other side. There you go. So as you can see, I've gotten pretty much all the fouling out of the compensator, and that looks good enough for me. You don't have to make them perfect. You just really want to get the bulk of the fouling that's inside the compensator. Now I'll take the paper towel and I'll wipe the outside of the compensator. There you go. The other thing I want to point out, if you look inside my compensator, there's no CLP. It looks pretty dry. The reason why you want to remove as much CLP as possible is because if you leave any in there, the next time you go shooting, it'll collect more fouling where the CLP is. Just wanted to make sure I notate that. So now that everything's been cleaned, let's put everything back together. So we're going to take our slide, and this is the bottom of the slide, and we're going to install the barrel. So what we need to do is we need to take the barrel and make sure that the barrel is upside down. So this is the top. That's going to be facing down like this. So when you look at your slide, that's the orientation of the slide and the barrel. The part of your barrel with the threads will go into this hole right here of your slide, but from the inside, just like this, like that. This part you're going to push down, and then you're going to push the barrel in and then push down right here to make sure it's properly installed. Next, we're going to reinstall the recoil spring. The side with the black circle is going to be installed in this area of your slide. And then this side of your recoil spring will be installed into this area of your barrel. It'll look something like this. We're going to compress the spring and push down. If you look right here, you can see that the disc is now in place where I was pointing at before. The other thing I want to notate is that make sure that your recoil spring is pretty straight. You don't want to be more to the left or more to the right. Now we can install our compensator. We're going to take our blue thread locker and we're going to shake it up. We're going to take a piece of paper towel and then we're going to just push some of the blue thread locker out just to make sure we're not getting any clear liquid. Next, we're going to take a small amount of blue thread locker and place it onto the threads, just like that. You can let it move and run through the threads, just like that. You can see it's starting to run. Okay, and once it looks pretty flat, like mine does, we're going to reinstall the compensator. Here's the orientation. The bottom has this piece sticking out down here. Flat part up here is the top. The side with the threads is the rear. And then the honeycomb shape in the front is the front of the comp. So now we're going to take the threads from the barrel and we're going to insert it to the rear of the compensator where the threads are, just like this. And now we're going to turn the compensator. If you turn your compensator and it just feels gritty and it doesn't feel like it's going on smooth, you want to take the compensator back off like that and then reinsert the threads and turn it. You're going to keep doing that until as you turn that compensator, it feels nice and smooth. Once you get to a point where you turn your compensator and it feels like you're getting resistance, what you're going to do is you're going to back off until the top part of the compensator is at the top part of where your slide is, just like this. Now, turn the entire slide upside down, take your set screws, take the blue thread locker, and apply a small amount of blue thread locker onto the threads. And that actually might even be too much. I took some off. Once you have the blue thread locker on the set screw, you're going to drop the set screw into the holes right here and here. Just taking a tiny bit off. And now put this one into the other hole. Just like that. Now you can take your 3/32 hex and start tightening up these set screws. Now, what you want to do is you want to screw these set screws in, but you don't want to tighten them up yet. Once they feel like they're starting to get snug, then what you're going to do is you're going to turn your slide and compensator over like this. And what you're going to do is you're going to try to make sure that the compensator is aligned with the slide as much as possible. So looking at mine, I can turn mine slightly to the right, just like that. And now I'm going to go back and I'm going to hold the compensator with my finger and my thumb. So this way it doesn't move as I'm turning and tightening the set screw, and tighten that up. Again, it's very important to not over tighten these set screws. So you just want to hand tighten them. Once we have that on, now we can install the upper to the lower. We're going to take the two rails right here and here, and we're going to insert those into here and here. And it'll look something like this. I'm going to pull that slide all the way to the rear once, and there you go. Everything looks good. Now, the next thing I like to do is a function test. How I do that is by grabbing the DY9 like this, turning it over, pushing forward with this hand, while with this hand, grabbing the slide from here or here and pulling it this way 3 times. Next, put your DY9 in a safe direction and pull the trigger. Hold the trigger, do not release. Pull the slide to the rear 1 time. Now release the pressure from the trigger slowly. You hear that reset. Point the DY9 in a safe direction again, pull the trigger. Everything seems to be performing properly. The last thing we're going to do is insert the magazine. The side with the numbers in the holes will face towards the rear of the DY9. You're going to take this part of the magazine and insert it into this hole right here, just like this. And you're going to push up until you hear a click. And there you go. You have successfully disassembled and cleaned your compensator and honeycomb barrel. Compensators will naturally collect carbon over time. You don't need to get them perfectly spotless, but it's a good idea to stay on top of the buildup. A good rule of thumb is to clean the compensator every few 100 rounds, or sooner if you start noticing heavy carbon buildup in the ports. If you're running an optic, a good practice is to add small witness marks to the optic and optic plate screws. That way, you can quickly see if any of the screws begin to back out. If the screws do move, you could remove them, apply blue thread locker, and torque them back down to about 12 to 16 inch-pounds, which is the recommended range for the DY9 optic plate screws. If you're planning to run this upper on a different frame, the Comp upper can also be used with DY9 frames and Glock 19 Gen 4 pattern frames. Glock 19 Gen 5 setups may require a modification at the back plate area. If you plan to store your DY9 Comp without the compensator installed, be mindful of the exposed barrel threads. Avoid bumping or damaging them so the compensator or a suppressor can be reinstalled smoothly later. The DY9 Comp adds a few useful features to the platform, including the factory compensator and the threaded honeycomb barrel. Keeping the compensator ports and barrel threads reasonably clean will help maintain consistent performance. With proper maintenance and periodic checks on your mounting hardware, the pistol should continue to run reliably for a long time. I hope you found this video helpful. Thanks for watching.